Hello everybody, in today's video we're going to be going over a cross-country winter storm which is going to start up through parts of the northern plains and the Rockies, and then it's going to be moving through parts of the central plains, the Great Lakes, and then into the interior northeast, where some of these areas could be picking up as much as 6 to 8 inches of snowfall. We're going to be showing you where that snowfall is going to be taking place and also when it's going to be taking place by showing you the models, and we're also going to be just giving you my general ideas on what I think will happen with this event. So let's get right into it here, and let's start off with your current National Weather Service page. We have some avalanche warnings in effect for western Washington state. We also have some more wind advisories back through parts of Washington, Idaho, and Montana. And then we have some winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings already up for that winter storm in parts of Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, and Nebraska as well. Mainly in the higher elevations where you actually already have some winter storm warnings in place. We have some hard freeze watches in effect for northwestern Utah. We also have some red flag warnings in effect for southern Utah and southwestern Colorado, with some winter storm watches in effect for southern Wyoming and northern Colorado. We have freeze watches in the light blue for parts of much of Kansas, actually, into pretty much the entire state of Oklahoma, northern Texas, and northwestern Arkansas. But other than that, in the entire eastern United States, really nothing going on in terms of watches and warnings, although over the next few hours and in the next couple of days at least, we will be dealing with most likely some winter weather advisories, maybe even a few storm warnings going up for parts of the Great Lakes and the Central Plains, and then eventually into the Northeast. Yesterday we had a high temperature which was tied between two areas, both in southern Florida. Boca Raton, Florida, as well as Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, both got to 93 degrees Fahrenheit, and the low temperature was 20 miles west-southwest of Du Bois, Wyoming, where they got to 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Yesterday we had a highest precipitation report in Henderson, Texas, where they got 3.12 inches of rainfall, and the highest snowfall report was 3 miles southeast of Leominster, New Hampshire, where they got 14 inches of reported snowfall. And really over that area in western New Hampshire and also back through northern Maine is where they saw the heaviest totals in terms of snowfall. We even saw a few reports over 10 inches and many reports over 6 inches in that area. So here's what the European model is showing with this event, and you're going to notice that it's going to start out in parts of the northern plains where we already actually have some snow showers going on for some of these areas. We have a Arctic high pressure which is behind this cold front, I guess you could call it, in parts of the northern plains. So we have your cold front right along the area of precipitation. Behind it is going to be that big high pressure. All of this is going to be dipping to the south, and we're going to see this area of moisture come out of the southeastern United States and push up into the northeast and the Ohio Valley, and that's when you're going to start to see the strengthening. So for example, if this low pressure forms back through here, then areas in areas like Chicago, Detroit, northern Indiana as well will be seeing the heaviest snowfall. But if it were to strengthen maybe somewhere over Ohio, then now the biggest area, area of heaviest snowfall would be somewhere over Detroit, Cleveland, and then back through western New York. So there is some real challenges in this forecast on figuring out where exactly this low pressure will form and also how strong it will be. So we're going to probably see a first push of heavy snowfall right as it forms, and then we're going to have to see how long that push of heavy snowfall will actually be able to last. So this is by tomorrow morning, and we're dealing with a light to moderate snowfall back through the northern plains and the northern Rockies, with a little low pressure system back through parts of Lake Superior, and then continuing this forward here to be by Monday night into Tuesday early in the morning. We have this very broad frontal system back through here being carried along by this low pressure up here. So this is generally kind of the flow in the atmosphere. You can see that high pressure, which is back up here to the north, that's bringing in all that cold air. And with this system, you might actually start to see your second low pressure start to develop. So here to be by Tuesday morning, light to moderate snowfall, even heavy snowfall at times over Kansas, Missouri, and also parts of the surrounding areas of those two states dealing with some of that snowfall. And then this is where the European model starts to form our second low pressure system. And this is very important because actually yesterday it was forming the low pressure back up through here. Now the new low pressure placement is more to the south, which would mean that instead of areas in northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, and southern Michigan now being the bullseye area, it's more areas in northern Illinois, central Illinois, and also into northern Indiana and southeastern Michigan as well. So really, there are some still big challenges with the forecast, especially because we're going over a heavily populated area around the Great Lakes. So a few miles to the north or to the south will have a huge difference on a huge population. So there is still a few things that we are trying to figure out here. This would be by Wednesday morning, and you can see how it's really bombing out over parts of southeastern Michigan into eastern Illinois, eastern Indiana, and northern and western Ohio as well. The 32-degree line is only back through here by this point. So areas that are south and east of that line are actually dealing with snowfall falling even though it's above 32 degrees, which means that this could be a heavy wet snowfall, which will be a real pain to try and shovel away, unfortunately. So we're going to hope that those accumulations stay on the low end of things for these areas. Your low pressure is very intense by this point over parts of western Pennsylvania, right through here, and again, that's going to continue to move to the north and east. It's starting to snow in parts of northern New York, northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire by Wednesday morning. Here's by the afternoon hours, and you see it switches to rain according to the European because we have that low pressure up through here. We see some of that snowfall back on the western end of the low pressure, so western New York now dealing with some rather intense rates of snowfall, and then we get a little bit of a dry slot to kind of form up through this area right here. On the west end of that dry slot, we also have some more snow. On the eastern end, we have a mix of snow and rain still going on for some of those areas. And then by Thursday night into Friday morning, it's really wrapping up, and it's mainly just snow showers through the day on Friday for northern New England and the interior northeast. So here's what the European model is showing with the snowfall totals, and I'm going to kind of do a little bit of analysis on this because it is really important to figure out where exactly this is going to kind of set up. For example, here you have a 3-inch print right back through here, and then you have a 9-inch print right here. So you can see how the difference right there, that's a 3-inch print maybe 25 miles to the north, and that's a 9-inch print maybe 20 miles to the south of there. So really a sharp gradient in terms of the snowfall. You could go from 8 inches to 2 inches very quickly with a short drive to the north or to the south. So we really want to pay attention to where the heaviest band of snowfall sets up. All of the models really have somewhere in here as the bullseye. The GFS is actually a little bit further south of there, but the European and the Canadian both agree on this area in southern Michigan, northern Indiana, and northwestern Ohio getting in on the heaviest snowfall. Also, don't forget about areas in the Central Plains also dealing with probably 2 to 4 inches. In reality, most likely only about 1 to 3 inches of that will actually stick due to the high sun angle this time of year, and then through the interior northeast, also somewhere that has a lot of uncertainty. You're going to see the GFS in just a little bit. It shows 20 plus inches in some of these areas, and the European model, on the other hand, showing maybe 2 to 4 inches if you get lucky in some of these higher elevation regions. Here to be what the GFS is showing, and again, you can see that 20 plus inch area, or at least a foot plus inch area back through the interior northeast. And also watch out back through here, not as much snowfall if you live back through there, but if you were to live in northern Ohio, northern Indiana, this is what the GFS is showing, and it's actually showing a lot more snowfall for you guys, maybe 4 to 6 inches of snowfall. The GFS is the outlier because if we actually do look at the Canadian model, it goes right back to what the European model is showing. So I'm going to stick with the European and the Canadian model just because you have 2 models against 1 model, and hopefully the GFS will start to agree with them as well, because that would mean that we have more model certainty, and it would make my job definitely a lot easier. We see that 6 plus inch area pretty much exactly where the European model had it. It also doesn't show as much snowfall for the interior northeast, just like the European model, and then it shows that 2 to 4 inch, maybe 5 to 6 inch area back through the Central Plains as well. So fairly good agreement between the European and the Canadian. The GFS is that outlier model, and I'm really waiting to see what the NAM model does, because it's been really good at catching on to early trends with the models, and the NAM model was one of the best models in terms of predicting that last snowstorm. in the northeast, where they had some areas get over a foot of snowfall just a few days ago. And so when that does come out, when we get in time for that model to render in, that's going to be really crucial to figuring out that last puzzle piece of where exactly the heaviest band of snowfall is going to set up. Here's what the Weather Prediction Center is showing for the probability of seeing 2 inches or more of accumulating snow through Wednesday. So this is only going through Wednesday morning, does not include anything that's going to happen on Thursday. So this is not complete data if you live back through here, and it's not even complete data if you live back through the Great Lakes, because it's still snowing by this point. So you can see those very high numbers back through the Rockies, of course, where some of those areas could be seeing over 12 to 18 inches of snowfall in the higher elevations, but you also see some rather high probabilities, over 50% in parts of northern Kansas, southern Nebraska, northern Missouri, and then we see also that bullseye over northern Indiana, southern Michigan as well, where we even have a 70 to 80% area printed on there. Here's the chances of seeing a 1/4 inch of liquid equivalent turn to snow or sleet, which is basically a longer way of saying about 2.5 inches of snowfall. So this is your chances of seeing about 2.5 inches of snowfall on Wednesday through Thursday. So you can see mainly just from Wednesday morning to Thursday morning, you can see we have a 30 to 50% chance back through the Adirondacks, a little area in southwestern New York, and one more area in northern New Hampshire and northwestern Maine. You can also see that if you live in parts of central Quebec and central Ontario, mainly southern Ontario, you also do have a 30 to 50% chance, even a 50 to 70% chance of seeing about 2.5 inches or more of snowfall if you live within those areas. And then this would be for Thursday, the chances of seeing 2.5 inches or more of snowfall. And you can see that we have those higher amounts back through northeastern Vermont, northern New Hampshire, and northernmost Maine as well. And then those 10 to 30% chances back through the Adirondacks, parts of the Green Mountains, also into the White Mountains, and parts of northern Maine as well. So that is going to wrap it up for today's video. If you have any questions or you want to forecast for your area, just leave your comment down below with what area you want to forecast for, and I'll give you a quick little forecast for how much snowfall or rainfall I'm expecting for your area. If you just have any questions on anything that is related to the video, or you just want to comment something down below, definitely leave a comment, leave a like as well, and subscribe to the channel because it does really help out. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.